the truth.
Welcome to Drop Me Off in Nashville with Sebastian Roberts and Scott Hugo.
God, do I love that opening. Welcome to the little show that could. And in fact, it still does. Hey, I'm Scotty Huger. Hope you all doing well. Hope you had a good week. I've had an incredible week. I've decided the day before, I was sitting in my hotel and I thought, what am I going to talk about in this episode? And I thought, we need to talk about just what happened this past week to me. And I'm a music manager. I have a music company. My partner's been in the music industry for 40 years. He's the guy who originally signed me out of Nashville. We went our separate ways for about 6 or 7 years, got back together a couple years ago, and put this management company back together the way it's supposed to be. And since then, golly. Short story, we started with this artist. His name is Michael Gilas. Michael was an artist back in his 20s, and he had a band, and him and his partner says, you know, we're doing really good, but I don't think I want to be an artist. I think I want to have a family. I think I love her, and I think I want this and that. So they broke up, and so Michael decided to start a couple of businesses with his brother. Did that, went through a little bit of life, and then got hurt in a really bad horse accident. Fell off a horse. He should have been dead. The doctor said he couldn't. He's not going to walk. He's not going to this. He's not going to move his neck. He could die from a neck surgery. The other doctor says, no, you won't die from neck surgery. You know, so you're sitting there laying in bed going, one doctor told me I could die from if I do a surgery. The next doctor is saying I'll be just fine if I do the next surgery. So, you know, so you're going through all that stuff. And he said, but really what kept me going was music. Music kept me going. And so Michael and Steve got together about a year ago, Michael Gilas. And since then, now we've had 2 Billboard hits. We topped at 13. And then we just released a song called You and Me in Miami. And when we first originally did it, it just didn't fit right, or it didn't come out right. And so we kept playing with it, got it right, put it out, got our record promoters out there. And it started out on Media Base at 50 last week. And at this week, it's at 30, and it's still climbing. So he's doing very good. So what happened this week was that Michael called me and said, we're going to go to Miami and spend a week there, and we're going to shoot a music video. And it was awesome. There's this guy by the name of Johnston. He's out of Nashville, Tennessee. He does film photography. He does everything you can imagine in film, music videos. He's well sought after for music award shows. You name it. He's the best of the best in town, and he's a great human being. Well, we hired him. He came down, and it was just the 3 of us. We hired, obviously, a model to help us in some of the shot scenes that we needed. We've had some clubs down there that were so incredibly gracious, comped our entire meals, dinners, food, drinks, gave us the best table, let us shoot out of their facility, just all these good. And the reason why they did that is we have the same lawyer. So I'll tell you guys, it's once you make it into the inner circle in Nashville, it's about who you know. So when you're filtering out your career and you're getting things going in Nashville, and you've been to honky tonk school with Scott Collier at Tootsie's, and he decides what he's going to do with you. He brings you in on Monday to Kid Rocks or wherever they do their schooling. And when I say schooling, it's literally helping, guiding, showing, teaching what songs that are good, what songs are going to make you money, what songs are not, what you can do, what you can't do. It's called Honky Tonk School, and every Saturday at like 2 o'clock in Tootsie's second floor back room, you can go in there and you can audition for the 15 places that Tootsie's owns around the world where you can play at. But anyway, when I was down there with Michael, these people we have the same lawyer. His name is Alan Jacoby out of Miami, and Alan also works with this club. So when we went in there, it was really open arms. This club was absolutely amazing. The people were very, very generous. It was right next to the ocean, and so we had a bunch of shot scenes that we did there. and we had a bunch of shots that we did. We almost did like a commercial for Miami, which was really cool because it's for the marketing point of view. This is going to be extremely cool. But so what I want to talk about today is management. You know, you probably heard everything you can imagine about what managers do, what they don't do, if they're crooks, if they're not crooks. But I will tell you guys firsthand this truth. Management is a necessity. And it's not because I'm in the business. It has nothing to do with that. If you go on TikTok, Instagram, and just Google music managers and what they're good for and find out. And you're going to hear the people who are pissed off about it. They're going to say how bad they are and how they screwed them over. And then you're going to hear the people who are actually in the business at my level or higher. And they're going to tell you how important it is to have a music manager, especially if you want a record label. Because I will tell you, we're at the point now with Michael that we flipped the script. We don't have to go after labels. Labels are already calling us. We've had two already call us and offer us deals, but they're not what we're looking for. We know we can get a better deal. We know we can get an advance that would work for Michael for where the trajectory where he wants to go. So, but you have to build it first. And I will tell you what I've also learned, which is amazing, is that there's companies out there now. They're almost like record labels. You can't get in unless you know somebody. And they open their company. We'll just call it X company. And X company is going to these labels that are closing and or aren't succeeding, and they're hiring their back staff to help them. And what that means is that there's a Spotify person, there's a YouTube person, there's a TikTok person, there's an Instagram person, there's an Amazon person, there's a publicist, and there's all these different persons within this company X that they'll say, all right, if you want to use 10 of these different programs to help build your model, that price is going to be $50,000. I'm just throwing numbers out there. If you want to use 4 of them, it's $20,000. Whatever that is, but they spell it out, what's going to happen, where it's going to go, where it's going to get you, how it's going to get you there. The AI tools that they're going to use to help you get there, they know their results pretty much ahead of time. They see how it's going to go. They know what the songs and the quality of the songs and how well it's going to do, and it's a team. So you get into a management company that has these connections, it's going to cost money because the management company is not going to flip out that money ahead of time. I'm not going to pay for your success. So we have an episode with the music investors a few episodes back that Sebastian and I did with Randy Rich, and how important it is to have a music investor and what they do and what they don't do. But it's important to have that because even if you did like a fundraiser in your hometown and you raised money or you went and did work or you work 4 or 5 jobs to make enough money, you're probably looking at anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000. And what you want to do, here's the hidden secret, okay? Everybody listen. This is the secret. You can listen to all the noise all you want. You need to build your YouTube and your Spotify. That's it. That's it. Build it. Get those numbers up. And what I mean by get on playlists, get your music out there, strategically put your music out there. You could have 10 million people on TikTok. Nobody gives a shit. That doesn't pay the bills because if a label does kick you up, put your song out, you're going to have that one-off and you're gone because you can't sing. It's a one-off. That's kind of a general statement. So you know what I mean? You guys know what I'm saying by that. But if you really want to stay in this and make it a music industry career, work on your YouTube and your Spotify. That is utmost important. If you're going to hire a team to work on your Spotify, on your YouTube, hire them to only do America. Don't let them AI you and get you likes in Cambodia. It means nothing. You have to get American likes. So hire the company, say, listen now, we're good. I'll give you whatever, $2,500, $10,000, whatever that number is. But I only want American listeners. It's super important because that's the real number that the labels are going to look for. Because they know everything else is just almost like a bot, B-O-T, like it's botting. And it's just kind of going out there and people are just clicking on it because that's what they do. So be smart about it. If you're going to invest in yourself, invest in YouTube and invest in Spotify. We'll be right back.
Here we go.
Podcasters, it's time to level up your sound. Don't let your show get lost in the noise. You need exciting intros, powerful outros, and smooth transitions that keep your listeners hooked. That's where podcast production music comes in. From polished production elements to custom sound design, Mark Maynor is your audio production professional, delivering broadcast quality results every time. Call Mark at 727-609-7366 or visit podcastproductionmusic.com. That's podcastproductionmusic.com, and bring your podcast to life. Sound Pro, stand out. Podcast production music.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey,
listen.
hey, don't go nowhere. Sebastian and Scott got more coming at ya.
That's right, y'all.
You're tuned in to Drop Me Off in Nashville with Sebastian and Scott. I think they've been dropped off at a few Nashville bars themselves.
All right, hey guys, so we're back. So remember, your personal manager, like there's business managers, there's tour managers, there's day-to-day managers, there's business managers, there's all these different managers, right? But out of the gate, you just need a music manager. Like he's almost your quarterback for the whole team. You know, your business manager is going to help you with your finances, your taxes, your royalties. Your tour manager, well, that's just that. Life on the road, logistics, where you're staying, why you're staying there, how long you're staying, when bus call is. There's all these different managers. But you don't need any of that other nonsense until you have a manager that first can help you. So get that. Now listen, guys. Listen. There's so many crooks. I mean crooks. And the way around that is very, very simple. This is what the price is. When you talk with your manager, say, when we're going to Spotify campaign, what does that cost? And it's this. Now, your management company, right out of the gate, is probably going to take 20% because you're a nobody. So anything that you do get, they're going to have to recoup something. And most management companies will also ask you for a small fee to be compensated for their work, because they're not going to do all this junk for free. It's not like whatever you were told in the past just doesn't work. The management company is the record label, because they get you to where you need to go. They get you in the doors you need to be at. And then the established labels come to you, and then they say, you know, we heard your artist on Billboard, what's going on? Or they'll look you up and they'll know, like what's happening with us with Michael. It's crazy. We can't keep up with the people that are interested in what is going on in his life, which is great. But as you grow, the 20% will go down to 15, and then it will go down to 10. And then that's usually about where it'll pop off. Somewhere between 10 to 15% they'll take you. It just depends on what your sales are. But you gotta have somebody help you. So if you want to, if somebody's going, hey, your Spotify campaign is going to cost $20,000, but the realization of it's only $5,000, and the management company's pocketing $15,000. That's a bad management company. Don't work with them. They're not good people. They prey on people like you, and we call them the sharks in Nashville or any other place in the industry. But like I said, if you go on TikTok, Instagram, and you look up real A&R or managers and find out what's going on, they'll tell you, if you doubt my word, that they are the new management company for record labels, that you have to have some kind of platform built already before you go in there. Now, we've talked in the past, I said, is that all that matters, is that you have numbers, not how great of an artist you are? Because that drives me absolutely insane. If a great artist is a great artist, it shouldn't matter what the hell their numbers are on TikTok, because nobody gives a shit, but apparently people do. I don't know why. But I would think that if they're great, they're going to sign them anyway. That's why I think a lot of these people off of these reality shows, American Idol and everything else, don't get record deals, because they're all cover songs. They're not original songs. So once cover songs don't sell unless you make them your own, and then you might get something out of that. But you have to have original music. So you have to be smart about it. And that's all going to come with talking with people, networking, going to songwriter nights, visiting, and then make sure that you block out the noise. Everything that we do with Michael, I'll tell you with our company, and it's the only one I really can talk about. I know a couple other ones that are really good too, but it's transparency. There's no secrets. Everything. For example, on a daily basis, we do charting for him. He knows where his number's at, if they grew that day, if they went down that day. He can pull up any spreadsheet at any given time and see that his TikTok is at 16,000 or if it's at 14,000, when it jumped, why it jumped, what went up, what went down, what worked, what didn't work. You can see everything, and we are transparent on all of that. See, if somebody tells you right out of the gate, I'm going to get you a record label because they're a management company, that's an overpromise. And then there's expectation with that. And then for some reason, most artists take that as, well, I'm getting a deal anyway, so now I'm a lazy ass. At the end of the day, you guys, you have to realize you are in control of your deal. You are the artist. If a management, I have an artist that I'm highly considering working with, and I keep saying over and over again, you have to, you're on this stage on Broadway. You have to say, my name is X 10 times a day while you're playing your shows. You have to promote yourself. Go to my Facebook. Go check out my .com page. See where we're playing. Put a request in so we can come to your hometown. You have a free audience in Nashville to have your music go all over the world, because all over the world is where those people came from to come to Nashville to see you. And you don't know who's a bar owner, who's a promoter, who owns a club that has major artists come in. You don't know who's in that audience, but I could tell you it's a music lover who's in that audience if they're there to see you in Nashville. So you have a free opportunity to go, hey, listen, my name is Scott Hooger. Go check out my Facebook page. It's Facebook/Scott Hooger. Go to my TikTok team. It's TikTok/Scott Hooger Music. Check Miss L. Give me a like. Do all that stuff. Say hi. I'd like to talk with you. Those are the kind of things that matter. So what a manager is going to tell you those things. That's my job, is to say, I need you to do X. And if you choose or you don't do X, and then we quickly start to lose interest in you, you're the only ones to blame. You could say anything you want or give it any excuse you want, but that's not how business works. There's a lot of companies who are crooked, but then there's a lot of companies who aren't crooked and are going to help you. So when you're told to do something, you got to do it because they're looking at the best interest. The communication, the weekly check-ins, we do weekly meetings. Like I said, the transparency is unbelievable. There's trust between us and the artists. If an artist would say to us, let's just say Michael, I'll say, Michael, we need to do this shot scene for this video. And Michael goes, I'm not feeling that. That's not what I'm looking for. That doesn't feel good to me. You have to be smart enough to go, that artist is the one selling the product. That artist is the one selling that song on stage. That artist is the one who wants to feel comfortable with that video, those songs, so he or she can put them out. And if you just want to make a video that was your liking and didn't think of the artist, you haven't done anybody any favors. All that you've done is you started to put a wedge in your trust between you and your artist, and you can't do that. It doesn't work. So you have to work hand in hand. It's a long-term commitment between two people who become almost friends, where you can rely on each other. You know each other. Like right now, I'm very well aware, every time I spend a lot of time with Michael, and I spent the week with him in Miami, I'm really well aware what works for him, and I know what he gravitates to. And those things are important because I spent one-on-one time with him in the car, shooting, eating dinner, visiting. We had a 2.5-hour dinner a couple nights ago, and we just talked about life. It wasn't about music so much. It was just about life. And I started to realize what's important to him, and he realized what's important to me. And those are the kind of things that matter. You have to have clear contracts with percentages, what the roles are, what the exit clause is if you want to get out. The first time you have to fire your manager, because that could happen, and you want to go to a different management company. Those are all things that are it's just business. And that's just what comes with this music industry. There's so much more that I need to tell you guys about, but I need to take a short break, and I'll be right back, okay?
Hey, everybody. Willie here. I just ran into Sebastian and Scott over at Tootsie's Orchid Lounge. So let's raise 'em up and have a drink. It's a holler and a swaller.
Beer.
1, 2, 3, holla! Now swallow.
They were legends, icons, voices that shaped the soul of country music. Johnny Cash.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
Loretta Lynn.
Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter.
Now you can walk through the places they called home all in one day. Just outside of Nashville, explore Hideaway Farm, the private cabin retreat where Johnny Cash found peace, prayed, and played for friends. See his personal cars, memorabilia, and the home that held his heart. Then, just a scenic drive away, step into the story of Loretta Lynn at her historic ranch in Hurricane Mills. Tour her beautiful home, visit her museum, and stand in the footsteps of country royalty. Two American legends, two unforgettable homes, one epic day trip just outside of Nashville. Book your tours now and experience country music history up close and personal. This is more than sightseeing, it's stepping into the soul of Nashville.
Hey guys, we're back. It's funny, I was just catching my breath here for a minute during this commercial break, and I just got a message from Michael. And because I don't have permission, I won't read it all. But I'll tell you that this is an artist. This is exactly what we're talking about. The bridge between friendship and management, artist, and that trust that's built. Here it is. It's been 2 days since we shot this video, and he sent a very, very large text message about when we shoot again and add footage to this certain video, what do you think about doing X, Y, and Z? And should we shoot here? Should we shoot there? What do you think of that? He's bouncing ideas off people to try to get their creative minds flowing like he is. He's very creative. And I love that about him because he's a visionary. He sees things and he wants things to be the best that they can. And that's, you guys, he's building his brand. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to tell you what he did in his personal life before he got into music, but he understands what brand is. He understands when he's talking to people, if they look up when he's talking to them, what that means. If they look down when they're talking to him, what that means. He understands all that. He's a very good sales guy. Like they say, Garth Brooks is a marketing genius. I think of that about Michael Gilas. He can read people very well, and he knows how to steer them by the way they conduct themselves. And here he is. It's 3 hours earlier there, so it's probably very early in the morning where he's getting up in his hometown on the West Coast, and he is still thinking about the video and what we could do or what we should do or what could be added to it to make it better or for him to feel more comfortable, exactly what we were talking about. So it's so weird that text message came in just at the same time. So just remember, you got a free stage in Nashville. I like to use Nashville because I know it so well. Go to Broadway, play local venues every week. That's not just a gig. That's a free ad for you. You're not paying for an ad. That's free advertising. Go find Scott Collier. Go find John Stone. They mostly play at Kid Rock's. I think they only play at Kid Rock's. And just sit in the audience for 2 weeks. That's all I'm asking you. And watch them perform. You can't get it in one. You'll never get it in one show. The reason why, because you'll see that it's repeated, but in a different way with the different crowds that come in. They know how to read these crowds, what age limit of people are in there, who they're playing to, what songs they're reacting to. Go find Scott Collier and John Stone and watch these guys and how they command a stage with the audience. They pivot their show to who is in there. Go to Tootsie's on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock in addition. Try to get invited to Honky Tonk School. That's literally what it's called. It's called Honky Tonk School. And they're on TikTok and I think Instagram. Go like them and you'll kind of see what goes on. It's actually ran by Scott Collier. I think Mondays they take you to one of the bars. You have to be invited. And they go in there and they have the bands play. everybody who gets invited, I think there's 10 bands or whatever they bring in that week. And they go up there and they sing a song or two, and then Scott helps them. If you did this, okay, stop the band. If you did this, if you did that, if you moved this, if you moved that, oh, that worked out really good. Oh, no, you're good. Keep doing what you're doing. That guidance is there. That's like, you can't buy that. You can't buy it. What he's offering you or teaching you at honky tonk school, you ain't going to find anywhere else. You're talking to a guy that's been there for 20 years and seen everything. These guys aren't paying me for this commercial. Tootsie's isn't giving me any money. Collier's not doing it. I'm just saying this out of the goodness of my heart because I know these people. Go there. Go figure it out. They'll train you how to maximize your income in Nashville. And if you don't make it in industry, I promise you, when you're done on Broadway after going through honky tonk school with Scott Collier, Johnston, watching these guys, dealing with your craft, you'll go back to your hometown. You will be the biggest star in your state. And you will get to play from an agency instead of playing for tips down at Tootsie's and maybe getting $50 from the bar or whatever it is, whatever their draw is that they give you, if they give you anything at all, and just playing for tips. Even though you can make up to six figures down on Broadway, when you get back home, you'll play Friday and Saturday night with some local agent who will hire you immediately, and you will get $2,500 to $7,000 a night, and might open up for Black Hawk or whoever else is in town at the local bar, and you'll get all these gigs. They'll go to you. They'll know that you're the best, and that's what's so cool about Nashville. Whether you're going to go there and make it as a celebrity, or you're going to go there and you're there for 5-6 years, everybody starts to know your name because you're there all the time, and you'll be in the inner circle. And then if you don't make it in the industry and you start a business, your business will be successful in Nashville because everybody knows you because you've been there for so long and you're a good human being. Or you decide to go back home and life takes you there and you play on the weekends or opening up for major artists when they come to town, you'll make a lot of money. And those are the things that are matter. So you just have to realize Nashville is free advertising. You have people from all over the world coming. And you guys all know, if you're in Nashville, how many bars there are. There must be 60, 70 bars there. But those people picked your bar. They like something about you is why they stayed there while you were singing. So now you have them. And if you have them, work it. My name is X. I play here on this night. I'll be here tomorrow at 3. Go to my Facebook. I just did a new song. I'm writing. Tell them a little bit about yourself. Explain what you're doing, how you got to Nashville. Then get right back into the next song again to keep them. But entertain them somehow, some way so they know who you are. If you're going to put like a QR code where you want to beg for money through Venmo, make it look nice. Don't make it look gaudy. Make it look nice. Put something in front of the stage that says who you are with a QR code on it. Anything that matters that can drive people to your website, drive people to your numbers. Once you get on Spotify and YouTube, remember, those are the two big ones that label look at. Spotify, YouTube. Spotify, YouTube. Don't forget that. That's where you want to build. Everything else is great for sure, but you want to build there. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, this is Tommy Two-Tone, and you're listening to Drop Me Off in Nashville.
3.
Your guitar isn't just an instrument, it's your voice, your soul, your weapon. So don't let it dull out. Bring it to life with Doc Simon's Miracle Guitar Polish, the premium 4-ounce organic formula that restores, protects, and ignites your finish with a stage-ready shine. Safe for every guitar finish and fine wooden instrument. Zero junk, all tone. Whether you're shredding solos or strumming stories, this polish delivers pro-level results every time. Make your guitar look as good as it sounds. Doc Simon's Miracle Guitar Polish. Your secret weapon for shine, tone, and total respect. Get yours now at SlamoCustomGuitars.com. That's SLAMO CustomGuitars.com.
All right, thanks for hanging in there with me, you guys. I want to talk about 10 more minutes of this, just so I can make sure that I understand exactly what you guys are getting into. Remember that we're going to grow your account as a management company. We're going to build your identity. We're going to make you market ready. You know, artists don't get in a room without representation. You need somebody advocating for you. Labels now expect a finished product, an image, story, fans, shows, streaming traction. They're looking for you to be able to keep somebody employed full-time, 6 to 7 people that you're going to pay for through the money that you've making out on the road. They're not going to pay for that. You have to keep those people employed. So they're not going to invest $1 million into your advanced if you can't invest into yourself and get things going on your own. It's like building a McDonald's. You have to give them money to start. It's the same thing, Hill. You're building your brand to get things started. Music companies aren't stealing employees from major labels. Like I told you, A&R, digital strategists, publicists, they're going to them and they're going, we're going to start this little company that's good because they know the secrets. You know, they worked in these industries, so they know the secrets. So they're going to go, I'm gonna take some of my A&R and digital strategists, publicist people, and I'm going to start my own company because we know how to get then who is running these campaigns for Spotify and YouTube. And we're going to start our own company, but you have to know somebody to be able to get into that company, just like you do at a label, to start building your brand. But why do you need this stuff? It's because labels don't want to take the risk anymore. It's really simple. They don't need to take the risk anymore. They want a ready-made product, which means your McDonald's needs to be selling the best hamburgers in the drive-thru wrapped around, and it's going really well. They expect that. I get that. I appreciate that. It doesn't mean that we have to like it, but that's their rules. And that model will change 10 more times in the next 10 years. The entire model has shifted to grow the artist. You have to build the momentum. You have to create value. Then you get offers. Or you could stay 100% independent and keep it all yourself if you're self-funded. You know, those are the decisions that you have to make. But value is everything. You know, like I said, they're not just going to write a $1 million check for you in advance for number one, to cut your album, get a publicist, figure out what you're going to do, who your fan base is, how they're going to grow that, what's your demographic, where should we put you, what radio tour we should have you on, why you should have you on it, what clothes you're going to wear every day, blah, 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 blah. I could go on and on. They don't need to do that anymore. You guys need to figure that out prior and figure out what sells. You know, real talk. Honestly, this is the music business. You know, there's a social media management campaign. There's booking and logistics. There's digital advertising. There's growth campaigns. Let me think. Publicist connections. There's sync for licensing, for pitching. There's consulting. There's team building. I mean, I can go on and on of really what goes on in your career to get you to where you want to be. And you need a management company or somebody very well versed, or an artist that's been on a label before and then lost his deal or her deal to help you. So somebody knows the inside of really what everybody is looking for. You know, I don't like the fact that numbers matter more than the music. But that doesn't matter. There's nothing I can do about that. That's just the way it is. You know, Spotify and YouTube, those numbers matter. I said it 1,000 times on this podcast, but I need you to hear me. You know, the myth that numbers don't matter if the music is good is wrong. Numbers equals data. Data equals leverage. Let me say that again. Numbers equal data. Data equals leverage. Data is everything. If you have the data, that's everything. We know where you're being played, where people are listening to you, what part of the country you should go in, where you're lacking. We should do some radio tours there. We should do some meet and greets. We should do something. You should go to the Mega Mall and sign autographs if you're not doing well in Minnesota, or if you are. Those type of things we understand, and that's what numbers and data gives you. It gives you not an opinion, it gives you fact. So do your Spotify music play. Put your music in front of the fans. Get on playlists like, Radar. Release Radar would be a good one. Discover Weekly. That's a good one you guys can get on. Get on editorial playlists like, top of my head, Hot Country, New Boots, Boots, Boots. Fresh Finds maybe would be a good one for you guys. And some of this stuff require a manager or publishers or a label rep pitching behind the scenes for you to get on those. So you ain't going to get on some of these charts unless you have some kind of representation for somebody to put you on there or know somebody in there that's going to allow you to be on those charts. Because remember, there's 24 hours in a day. They have to play so much time in commercial. There's some of the best artists in the world already on that radio station or getting played in those time slots. Who are you going to knock off to put your song on there? Morgan Wallen, Garth Brooks, back in the day, Loretta Lynn, Charlie Pride. Who are you going to knock off so your song can be played instead of Morgan's, for example? Is your song better than his that you can put your song and take place of his? That's what your competition is. That's what you have to understand. So when you look at the industry, it's consistent monthly listeners. You get those people that, if anybody out there, we all hate Spotify. We all know the guy that started as an ass, and he's richer than all the people who put his music on there, and we don't get paid shit, and it's a complete ripoff. It is what it is. And until that format changes, there's nothing we can do about it. So get on these playlists that are happening on YouTube and Spotify. You have to have consistent monthly listeners, and it shows. We know all those numbers. You have to have repeat listeners for the same song over and over again. Like I have a playlist from anybody from the movie soundtrack Grease to Keith Urban to Loretta Lynn, the Charlie Pride to Tennessee Ernest Ford is on this thing. But I make my own playlist, and then these people get on it, and that's what they look for. Your music has to be good enough to get on those playlists. You have to have the playlists that are ads and people who are saving your music and they're liking your music. You have to get those numbers up to the hundreds of thousands, 200,000, 300,000. You have to watch your YouTube engagement and what works, what doesn't. The follower growth rate, not just the statistic numbers, but who's following you and how often are they following you. These things, you guys, they matter. And I know that firsthand. I'm telling you the God honest truth because I live it. I know it, and I see the calls that come in from the different labels now who are interested in our artist. And this is exactly what we did. We put him out this way strategically. We track everything he does on a daily basis. And he invested in himself in a way that he wanted to make sure that he knew that his growth would be in the right way, organically, in the United States. It doesn't matter if you have 500,000 listeners in China. It means nothing. So just remember, this is the music business. You're a brand. You're a product. You have to have some kind of commercial potential, fan loyalty. And in the music industry, you guys in Nashville, you're blessed because those country music fans, they will stick with you forever. Like you hear me talk about my heroes, Garth and Charlie Pride and Loretta Lynn all the time, and I still follow and love those people to this day. I listen to a Charlie Pride and a Loretta Lynn song just about every day, and I would listen to Garth, but he's only on Amazon, and that's not the only streaming platform that I use. But I did listen to Garth most of the morning this morning while I was getting ready. You got to your fans will stick with you forever. There's just no doubt about that. So that you're very blessed to have that. Listen, it's been tough without my partner. It's been a couple weeks, and I miss him. And I hope he's on the road to getting better. But we'll get through this together, okay? There's a .com page. Send me some questions. We're trying to figure this out where I can have people call in, and you can either yell at me or ask me some stuff, and we could talk live on the air. But one way or the other, we'll get through this, and we'll get my partner back up in here and healthy the way he deserves to be in life, and we'll keep going. But like and subscribe, and thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for joining Sebastian and Scott. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join the Drop Me Off in Nashville family. Engineering and production provided by Podcast Production Music.
Well, Nashville, can't thank you enough for all the time.
Y'all come back now. Here?